Now, one of the videos that I was going to check out today is this one right here by Jerome, how to choose the best alts. Now, I'm just guessing by that it's all about making alts in Seasonal Discovery, and I mean, with the current 100% experience boost we have, I think a lot of people will be leveling alts, like experience increase by 100%, 300% gold earned from quest as well, which by the way, isn't as impactful as I would have hoped. When I'm doing quests, like, they're increasing the gold rewards, but not every single quest gives you gold rewards. So like, you think you're getting 300% more gold while leveling, but you're really not. Because you have to like target the quest that gives you gold. But yes, back to the video. This one by Jerome, we're going to be taking a look at it right now. And here we go, boys. How to choose the best alts. SOD Phase 2 Guide. Hopefully I haven't muted the tab this time.
Today we're talking about the best alts to level in Phase 2 of Season of Discovery. So we've got that 100% XP boost, which means it takes less than 20 hours to hit max level in Phase 2. That means this is a perfect time to level the best gold maker in the game, or maybe you want the strongest and most desirable raider.
Real quick, by the way, I'm planning on doing a level 1 to 40 in one sitting stream at some point, so if you have any, like, which class do you think would be best to do that with? No outside help, no like getting boosted, just me questing, playing the game kind of solo, like which class would be best to do like 1 to level 40? As fast as possible, of course. If I'm going Horde, I'm going Shaman, that's a given, but if I'm going Alliance, pretty much every class is open.
Or maybe you're a PvP fan, you want to have the very strongest PvP class to dominate in Blood Moon. We're going to talk about the very best options for every single part of the game. Let's get right to it. So we're going to start by talking gold makers. These are the classes that can get you rich really fast. Then we'll be talking raiding, the classes everybody wants for raids that we just don't have enough of yet. And
gold makers, hunters, mage, maybe even druid. Hunters and mage, top 1 and top 2 by far. So those two, really good. Druid for herbalism and mining as well, even though hunters are still better there as well, if you ask me, considering they can send in their pet and then just run away. Like, if there's a high level guarding a mining vein, for example, the hunter can send in the pet, mine, run away. The druid can use entangling roots if it's outside. If it's in a cave, you can't root, which is dumb. But yeah, I think hunters are better. Raiding, go Shadow Priest, healer, or like, yeah, Shadow Priest, healer, boomkin, a utility class, or just a good DPS class. Even mages, people want those all the time. But Shadow Priest, I feel like they're wanted all the time. You're doing pumper DPS, you're helping a lot on the healer meters, and you're also making melees more viable by coming through with homunculi, reducing the armor values of the bosses by quite a lot.
And we'll be talking PvP, the Dueling Kings, the Blood Moon Superstars. These are the alts to make if you love PvP. So let's talk gold making. So the first great alt for gold making will be Hunter. Hunters have amazing ability to solo dungeons and open world content as well.
Yeah.
The first thing Hunters can solo is Cathedral. You can solo boost people in Cathedral for over 200 gold per hour. It took me about 4 hours to get my first run down, but it's really not that hard of a boost. Once you get it down, you can do a full clear in about 15 minutes or so. That's over 150,000 XP per hour for your boosties, which is amazing. We also
That's
have
actually a
Alderman
lot.
soloing as an option as well. My friend Frostadamus has gotten completely rich from solo farming Alderman. You get a flat 30 gold per hour, plus all sorts of chances at really good blues like the Pendulum of Doom. And there's also...
Plus, people even sell them as boosts. You should charge a lot less than SM boosting, but you can get like some boosties in, and just get even more gold per hour that is like steady gold, right?
boosting potential as well if you don't want to do SM Cathedral boosts. But if you don't like dungeon boosting, you could also do open world farming as well. Things like the pirate farming in Tanaris are amazing for getting items like Gut Ripper. But really, hunters can do any farm in the game. You could even sell demonic runes to people as a service if they were in your group. I honestly think hunters could kill Onyxia right now if the raid was open. What do you guys think about hunters as gold farmers in Phase 2? Do you have an ult you plan to level next with the 100% XP boost? Let's talk about it in the comments. The next gold farming ult you should make is the Mage. Mages are amazing for AoE farming. I mean, there's so many great options like the Woodpaw farming in Feralis. But they're also pretty much just as good as hunters at SM boosting, which is going to be the #1 gold maker in the phase. And you can rest assured your mage is future-proof to boost in future phases as well.
Yeah.
Now, we all know hunters and mages are great, but what about rogues as well? Rogues are...
Speaking of hunters and mages, by the way, let's just talk about phase 3 for a second. Sulfarak Graveyard. Even if people don't sell it as a boost, just think about the raw gold farming potential. Which class would be best here, mage or hunter? Because personally I feel like, I don't know. The reason why hunters I feel like are better in Cathedral right now is that they can more cleanly pull. As a mage, you have a lot of burst, but the pull sometimes gets messy. There's a small element of RNG always involved with the frost resistance we currently have, to the point where there's like, you never 100% know when you're solo boosting. If you're duo mage boosting, then it's fine, but as a solo mage, there's always a tiny bit of tiny bit of RNG involved. While hunters, there's pretty much no RNG, but I still feel like the burst from mages is still way better. And when it comes to doing Set of Graveyard, for example, just Living Bomb, Living Flame, it's gonna go crazy. Just Living Bomb all the zombies in the graveyard, and then just Living Flame, and kite them back and forth. You can just jump back and forth between the two ledges really fast as well, and then Living Flame, top damage. Incredible. The thing about hunters though, like when a mage goes if everything doesn't die, and you go you have two options. You can evocate. Well, you have several options, but you can evocate, you can make mana gems ahead of time, you can bring mana potions, or you literally just have to wand and wait for MP5. As a hunter, you currently have the aspect of the Viper. It really helps out.
Surprisingly, a very good gold farmer. They can solo through Scarlet Monastery and get the chest and pickpocket as well. Current estimates of the gold rogues can make per hour, something like 25 per hour.
Ooh.
So one alt you could make, that could be any class, would be a transmute alt. So you can transmute mithril bars into true silver bars for about a 5 gold profit every 48 hours.
5 gold? What server do you play on, man? On my server, Living Flame, mithril is like 25 silver, true silver is 1.25. We're making 1 gold profit every transmute, so every 48 hours. Like, I'm coming to your server, bro. And with this boost, if I can make that much, I'm gonna make all my characters alchemists and make 5 gold profit. Yeah, dude, I'm taking all the gold in your server, bro. I'm coming.
I plan to level 4 transmute alts just to do this in the next couple weeks. Let's go.
But it is worth noting, though, I know I'm pausing a lot. It's worth noting that when it comes to the alchemy situation, you're making profit now, and when the Arcanite transmute comes in, you can bet you're gonna make way more profit as well. Okay, stopping all the pausing now, let's go.
It's going to be really nice profit every 2 days. And speaking of profit, you should definitely make a level 5 enchanting alt just to disenchant all the greens you get. You'll almost always make more gold than you would from vendoring items. Alright, so we've talked maximum profit alts. Let's talk about rating as well. So first up, we have the Mage. So right now in Gnomeregan, Mage is legitimately the #1 DPS spec.
Yeah.
They really excel in the hard fights like Menagerie with their living bomb spam. In fact, on that fight, some mages are pushing nearly 1,000 DPS, which is insane. But mages are also really starting to move the needle as healers as well. In a meta where everybody wants to speedrun and parse, mages are perfect for that. Mages are the highest damage output healers by far, which is really relevant for parsing. Whether healing or DPS though, everybody wants mages, and it's not too late to make one. We've also got to talk about shamans as well. Talking shamans, there are 2 different shaman DPS specs that are in the top 5 DPS. As of right now though, shamans are the least brought class for DPS, which means there's a huge demand that's not being filled. And while shaman healers aren't the hottest healers right now, they're still super relevant because everybody needs healing. If you want to make an ult that is extremely high demand with very low supply, shaman is the perfect choice. We've also got to talk about priests as well for rating. Priests are so hot right now, and they're the #1 carry healer in Gnomeregan. The meta is quickly becoming 1 priest healer that's main healing, and then a bunch of off healers. You know, things like the Boomkin, the Mage, even the Shadow Priests. Priests are actually so hot right now that people are even selling healing services. You can actually get groups to pay you to go to the raids on the last day of lockouts. And getting back to Shadow Priests, man, they are awesome in raids right now. Sure, they're only in the middle of the pack in DPS, but Homunculus by itself is a 10% DPS increase in some fights for melee.
Yeah.
And they have that amazing raid healing potential with Vampiric Embrace. We've also got to talk about Warlocks as well. Warlocks are top 2 DPS, and the actual number 1 DPS right now is a Warlock. Meanwhile, in this parsing culture, Warlocks are actually becoming a lot trendier as tanks as well. They're currently the second highest DPS output tank, which is really strong. And there's just something about having a Warlock in your raid that just feels right. The summons directly to Gnomeregan, the Hellstones, the Soulstones. It's a really good package. If you want a raid spot in Phase 2, you really can't go wrong picking Warlock. Alright, so let's talk about my favorite part of the game, PvP. We've got to talk about rogues. Sure, they're not dominating in 1v1s, they are losing to the Shadow Priests, they're losing to the Warlocks. But in the open world, with full cooldowns, they're probably the most terrifying class to run into. And I'd argue right now that rogues are the number 1 Arathi basing class. They just have so much fun being a nuisance and spinning flags. Meanwhile, if you've got a friend, having 2 rogues ganking is probably the most terrifying sight to see in the open world. At least for my priest. I mean, I'm getting one-shot by them all the time. We've got to talk shamans as well for PvP. I'm no shaman main, but my friend Tazanian is, and he dominates in Arathi Basin. I mean, he'll routinely get 30 or even 40 kills in a game. Meanwhile, they have amazing burst as well. I've seen 1v1 Ellie Shaman duels where they straight up one-shot somebody. And as a Horde member, I've gotta confess that I really hate playing against enhanced shamans. The way they play with their super high burst damage and their purge is infuriating for my priest. We can't talk PvP though without talking about mages as well. Make a mage and you'll probably have more fun per minute than any other class in the game. They have this insane burst potential and they can one-shot people with Arcane Surge. That's probably the most fun thing in the game right now. It's just ridiculous. I want to make a mage that straight up one-shots people every 3 minutes, and then I just log back out again and wait for my cooldowns to come back. And we've got to talk about the meme Blood Moon comp with Arcane Mage. I mean, people just keep telling me stories about how they farmed 2,000 bloods with Arcane Mages. It's got to be the number 1 Blood Moon.
2,000? Hey, I've heard people get like 5,000 plus, man. Like, the mage meta there is insane. Champ knows.
Comp right now. What do you guys think about the Arcane Mage Blood Moon strat? Should it be nerfed in some way, or is it just a clever use of game mechanics? Personally, I think it's a little bit too overpowered. We've also got to talk about Priest. Priests have been dominating in every 1v1 tournament, winning everything. That alone was enough for me to make a Priest, because I love dueling tournaments. But I would also say that Priests are the most desirable class in Blood Moon right now. I'm always getting DMs from people wanting me to heal their Blood Moon groups, but also Shadow Priests are super desirable in Blood Moon as well. They're probably the scariest open world class in the game next to Rogues. Really, if you make a Priest, you'll have no difficulty getting groups. It definitely feels like I've made more friends playing Priest lately. I mean, compared to back when I used to play Warrior. You'll have no shortage of friends hitting you up if you like this video and subscribe as well. Our community is full of really cool people sharing their insight and their journeys in Season of Discovery. Speaking of journeys, if you want to make your journey 1 to 40 way faster, I've got the perfect video for you. My 1 to 40 leveling guide is full of tips to make your 100% XP boost as beneficial as possible. Check that video out next.
No Jerome stare at the end here? Come on, man. Also before the Jerome stare. I do like the direct shout out to the next video though, which we've already seen by the way, so we're not going to click on that, but what we are going to do is go down, give this one a big juicy thumbs up, because that was a good video. That was a good video by Jerome, as pretty much always. Talking about alts, I mean, I think it's fair to say that I've been leveling my fair share of alts here, so I like leveling alts. It's really fun. And I'm going to be leveling more. Like I just said, I want to do level 1 to 40 in one sitting, try to hit like, if I can do sub 20 hours, that would be insane. And I need to do a little bit of theory crafting there, but also just I need to think about which class I want to play. And think about which class get access to good runes early, without needing to be boosted. Because I do want to do it solo, or as solo as I can. I'm going to do dungeons and stuff like that, but I don't want to get boosted. So like, if I can naturally get a Dark Rider group at level 25 or 30, that's perfect. But if I'm playing a Druid, I have to get Star Surge early, like solo. And yeah, just thinking about which classes get good runes as early as possible. But leveling is fun, and especially in Season of Discovery, I'm really having fun. Because it's not just the same old. We have a bunch of new quests, a bunch of new runes. The whole rotation is different. Like being a Warlock, you have Haunt at level 2. That makes a massive difference. But once again, good video by Jerome. Gonna be linking it down below as well, and I'm going to post a link in Twitch chat a couple of times, so you can check it out.